Now, for more analysis on this, we have Charles Fakroha. He is Chief Operating Officer, Supra Commercial Trust Limited. He joins us live now, rather via phone. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Charles.
Thank you for having me.
Now, let's look at the trend, the bearish trend that continued yesterday as the NGX All-Share Index closed at 52,411.09 basis points to reflect a decline of 0.69% from the previous day and the year-to-date return of 22.7%. What would you say is responsible for this continuous bearish trend?
Yes, you know that for every market, prices are bound to go up and come down. Therefore, this particular week, we have seen the downward trend, and this is not unconnected with the general conditions in the economy. Okay. Therefore, yesterday specifically, we could see that there was some sell-off in Central Africa. There's also more to learn. These are top cap equities in the market, and when you have this kind of top cap companies losing as a result of sell-off, the price, the market is bound to close in negative direction. Then, of course, it's not just a one-off thing. Like you have seen, the trend has been bearish. The market is reacting to the inflation figures. We're talking about 17.7%, but has just been released. And of course, we cannot even, you just have to look at it from the macroeconomic perspective, looking at insecurity, inflation, and of course, we're in the season of politics. Okay. So all these is affecting the companies, and of course, it's also now affecting the market generally.
But let's take a look at the gainers chart, where we see Linkage Assurance topping the list with a 9.8% increase to close at 56 kobo, and then Cotville followed suit up by 8% to close at 54 kobo. What would you attribute this gain to?
Okay, yes, like I said earlier, you can see that equities are bound to go up and come down depending on the bid and offer that we experience in the market. So if you look at Linkage Assurance, yes, it has been in that range. There are days it will gain, there are days it will lose. Follow the same thing with Cotville and of course Japan. So these are just normal market dynamics. But at the same time, you can see that even those gains cannot offset the losers, because we have top cap companies in the losers chart, like that of coal oil, okay? So once you look at that, you will see that it was obvious that the market had to follow the trend by declining with almost 69 basis points. So for Linkage, Cotville, and Japan, it is as a result of the bid and offer that we saw yesterday.
But what about that of Charms? Charms was up by 4.17%, closing at 25 kobo, and also UPDC up by 4.08% to close at 1 naira 2 kobo.
Yes, the trend is also follows, because when you have more bids compared to offer, of course, the prices is bound to go up. And that's what is explaining the upward trend of small cap companies like Japan, Charms, and UPDC, as you have just mentioned.
But how strong are these stocks, and how should investors begin to position themselves for these stocks?
Okay, you can see that even as I speak to you today, the market is already showing signs of closing, showing signs of downward trend already, because we have seen MTN is already down, we have seen the ASI is already down. Okay, so for companies, they need to have a strong fundamental. So my advice would just be for investors, after you have done your analysis, go for companies that they have strong fundamentals. That is companies that have that pedigree of paying returns to their investors. This is the time that traders and investors have to be cautious in terms of trading. You need to do your analysis very well. And you need to pick stocks, select stocks that meet your investment objectives. Because from the macroeconomy, the market, the economy is not strong fundamentals.
When you say stocks that have strong fundamentals, how do you mean? What stocks are you referring to? Because as you said, market is not predictable. Sometimes the stocks are up and sometimes they are down.
Yes, I agree with you. Sometimes the market, even strong fundamental companies, also companies are temporary. Because at the end of the day, as an investor, you're looking at your return. As an investor, you're looking at your return. So I will just give some few examples that I will pay dividends. So the investor has invested in the likes of Total, Beja, these are companies that are not suggesting those that the ones investors should buy now, then they are already paying dividends. So if you have invested in Total, Beja, then of course you are sure of receiving your dividends. You must also note that the FPRO has been increased, and we're likely going to be seeing more of investment moving to the money market. Therefore, investors who want to remain in the capital market, will advise them strongly to do their little research and begin to pick stocks that have strong fundamentals in terms of the dividends they are paying, in terms of the management of the company, and what they have done so far in the past as an indication for them to see that this company might likely do well. However, past performance does not predict future performance, but it will just give an indication.
All right, let's check the other side of the table where we see corn oil topping the losers chart, down by 10% to close at 28 naira 80 kobo. And then Boa Foods also closed in the red, shedding 9.97% to close at 53 naira 75 kobo. Help us better understand the reason behind this downward trend in the shares of corn oil and Boa Foods.
Okay, you know that, like we have said, the market has some basic principles. When you have more of offer, of course, the prices is bound to fall. And that was what happened yesterday. There were a lot of sell-off from the likes of Boa and corn oil. And when you have so many people in the market trying to sell off, of course, the prices is bound to depress. And that's what we saw for corn oil and then Boa, losing those significant percentages. So it is the forces of demand and supply at play at that instance. But at the same time again, you also want to see that investors are cautious. Investors are very cautious looking at the time we find ourselves. And the market will also react to what is happening in the larger economy, because the market reflects what is happening in the economy. So for Boa and corn oil, we also have key transactions, Mansard, and also computer warehouse.
But isn't it surprising, Mr. Fakroa, isn't it surprising that e-Transact is also down by 9.96% to close at 2 naira 44 kobo? One would expect, it to be on the gainers list.
Like I said, if you look at what happened yesterday, you will see that there were more offer for e-Transact. That was why the price came down. Whenever you have more offer, that is, more people want to sell a particular security, the price is bound to close in the negative at the end of the trading.
But what about that of Etana? Etana was also down by 6.25% to close at 7 naira 50 kobo.
Okay. Again, the same trend to be used to explain. The market is reacting to the larger economy. And of course, you had more sell-off in that particular security. The price is bound to close in the negative territory.
All right, talk to us about what to expect as the market closes for the week.
Okay, like I was telling you earlier, right now the market is looking downward. The ASI is already down by some basis points. And from what I am looking at my machine now, what I'm seeing right now, it is very obvious that the trend is likely to continue. We are likely to see market close the week in the negative territory. Looking at all what I'm seeing currently, at now at about 10:40 something, that is what we are seeing now. And I don't really see any magic that's going to happen in the market. It's very obvious. The market is going to close in the negative territory. And my advice is still remain for investors. Do not be deterred. Still plan your investment and talk to your stockbroker to continue to select the companies with strong fundamentals, whether the market is going up or is coming down. This is the time we call for cautious trading on the part of investors and then traders.
That isn't good news for investors, is it? Mr. Fakroha.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir, that isn't some good news for investors, is it?
Yes, because in any market, you must have prices going up and coming down. It is for the investors to do their research very well, talk to the stockbroker, and know whether the market is going up or down, you can still benefit from the market if you have done your research very well.
All right. That's a good place to leave it. Thank you so much for your time on Business Breakfast.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Have a good day.